Sometimes it's the little things like a new toothbrush or a haircut. You get some new shoelaces.
Yeah.
Or you get yourself some dope ass custom tie-dye clothing from our sponsor, The Grateful Mountain. That's right.
Right here in Oregon.
Yeah, that is true. Tie-dye gear inspired by nature and driven by the Grateful Dead. Look, whether you're getting ready to hit a festival or you're getting ready to shoot yourself off into space, Grateful Mountain has the tie-dye gear that'll help you slip from one state of consciousness and into another dimension. They've got it all, man.
Yeah, they have plenty of things like Dickies, overalls, bibs, you name it. They got it. If you want socks, I'm sure they'll oblige.
Yeah, new gear is always dropping and in the works, but if you don't see your flavor or color, size, combo, whatever, follow them at the Grateful Mountain on Instagram and DM Travis over there for your special requests.
If I'm shooting myself off into space, I definitely want a pair of his bibs.
Yeah, that's for sure. They are hooking everybody up with free shipping with all orders in the U.S. And if you go to thegratefulmountain.com, when you check out, use the promo code NSR20.
NSR20.
To get 20% off
What?
your order of the dopest custom tie-dye gear around. That is the truth.
Yes, it is, Ruth.
Hey, man, you like the Grateful Dead?
I love the Grateful Dead.
Hey, man, you like wearing clothes?
Sometimes.
Hey, Mel, you like wearing hats?
I love hats.
Hey, Apple, Darwin, do you guys like hooded sweatshirts?
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
Well,
Especially right now, it's freezing.
I like wearing hats with no clothes.
well, you can do that with our sponsor, Shop Tour Bus, man. They have the coolest Grateful Dead inspired merch on the planet. These are Grateful Dead songs told in picture on all of their gear. You've got to go to shoptourbus.com and see what I am talking about. And not only are these designs amazing,
the products, the merch is so soft. The t-shirts, the hoodies, they have sometimes canvas tote bags with awesome things. So when you go to order your gear, upon checkout, put in the promo code No Simple Road, all one word, and you are going to get free shipping. How about that?
And then these shirts are so special, as we were saying, that they don't just throw them in like a Mylar bag and ship them. They make these awesome boxes. They're custom made, one of a kind. These are keepsakes. And then you don't know what you're going to get in there. They're usually spooled up with some twine, some cool photos, all kinds of knickknacks, doodads, candies, and you have the chance to get a miracle bootleg. That's right. The magic is kept alive on these tapes and come right to you.
that's right. Support the Grateful Dead family. Support Shop Tour Bus. Support No Simple Roads family of sponsors. Go to shoptourbus.com and make sure you put in that promo code No Simple Road to get your free shipping.
No Simple Road. Yeah, here we go.
I know the road may seem to go on forever and a lifetime.
See, man, I'm telling you, it's hard. It's hard to keep track, man. I don't know. It's tough.
You do. You know, it's just like you said, it's challenging to keep track of plus 500 things that we've done.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, it's interviews, it's dialogue, people come to the house, we go over there. Like, it's hard to keep things straight.
But it's not just that. It's like, okay, there's a day job, and then I got kids and a dog, and I'm baking bread. And I got to remember what
Stop
time
being so ambitious, dude.
Oh, poor you.
Oh, poor you.
Well, wait a minute. You know who's awesome and ambitious and dope?
You.
Our guest
John
this week.
Mailander.
That's right.
That's right.
Give it up for John.
We're super stoked to have John on No Simple Road this week.
Woohoo! yeah.
So when we recorded this a minute ago and I forgot to hit record, I said that the first time we saw John was at the Aladdin Theater seeing Sam Grisman Project, but I was incorrect.
I corrected him. Well, actually, John let us know that we did see him at Winter Wondergrass back in February. Or wait, no, when was that? That was
April.
Beginning of April.
March,
wow.
April, whatever.
Wow, time. Yeah, we saw him performing with Mighty Poplar up there.
Yeah, man. This is an incredible musician, everybody. Played with Billy Strings.
The member of Bruce Hornsby and the Noisemakers.
Yeah. This is no slouch.
And he's a fish head.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he did. He had the fish oven mitt hanging behind him. That's right. Well, I mean, stands to reason.
And he's another one we talked to. I can't.
Somebody about stuff once.
Well, isn't that what you were just talking about when we first started? How do we keep it together? I can't think of the name of the band.
Okay.
But Apple loves them
cool
from
story,
Winter Wondergrass.
Apple?
Broken Compass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it. Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember.
Broken Compass Bluegrass.
But the only reason, I mentioned it because they talk so heavily about the Father's Day thing that they went to that, really changed their lives. And John was talking about the Strawberry Fest that changed his life in this. And so this is super cool how festivals can really inspire you to do wonderful, amazing things beyond your comprehension.
And to have John on the show just after the Sam Grisman Project performance at the Ryman that he was a part of, if you all haven't seen this all-star jam that happened at the Ryman with Sam and many, many others, Peter Rowan, Billy Strings, John,
the list goes on.
The list goes on and on.
And a future guest that we have as well, Max Wareham. He was there too.
Really? Oh, holy shit. Okay. Well, we're working through that whole Ryman stage. So yeah, I'm super stoked for you all to hear this. Apple, what's he got coming up?
Well, if you want to see what he's got going on, go to johnmailander.com. And you can see everything that's going on. He's got some shows announced for 2025 that we were just talking about that. The January 9th, that was in Nashville. That has passed.
Guys, I lied about Max being there.
Okay.
We got the Ozark Mountain Festival, January 16th, 17th, 18th. He is artist at large. And then Nashville, Tennessee, January 31st. And let's see, this is the album release party with special guests Paper Wings, Kyle Tuttle Band, and Dig Deep Light Show. And then February 7th, this one's dope, Asheville, North Carolina, Eulogy, Billy Strings After Party with John Mailander's Forecast.
Hell yeah.
And then it goes into March, Live Oak, Florida, Sewanee Spring Reunion.
What's his website, Apple?
It is johnmailander.com.
And the name of the album that's getting ready to drop?
The name of the album getting ready to drop. I had to pull it up a second ago.
Apple
here.
fumbled the ball. We were carrying it down the field. We were headed towards the goal line. We were just about to score.
Let the world in.
There it is. Thank you, buddy. All right, everybody. If he comes through your town, if you get the chance to see him play, go do it. Don't not go that night. Don't be under the blanket on your couch watching reruns of The Sopranos for the 50,000th time and the fire's going and you're lazy and you're like, fuck it, I'm not going, because the next day when you wake up, you're going to be sad you didn't see him play.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's true with most stuff.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Sometimes I'm enjoying being under the couch and...
Under the couch?
Well,
that's when you're really hiding out, Mel. Yeah. It's like she's not.
Where's Mel?
I've got a really tall couch. Okay,
she's like, I'm down here.
She's like, under the. No, she wouldn't say nothing. She'd just be peeking out like they'll never find me. That would be
I meant under the blanket on the couch, but now it's a thing.
We kid.
Oh. Hey, we're gonna do the business. Get you to this conversation. So follow No Simple Road at.
No Simple Road.
Yep, that on all the social media platforms.
And then you can go to www.nosimpleroad.com
and get our merch there.
Yeah, you can get a tarot reading with us. You can look at our photos online because that's fun and cute. Sometimes you want to go down memory lane.
Hey,
It's
everybody,
true.
do you want to be fun and cute with No Simple Road? Go to our website and look at our pictures.
Then
If you want to be dirty and nasty, you
Go
can
to
call
Patreon.
the tepid line.
971-808-1524. That number again, 971-808-1524.
Yeah, and this is not censored or anything, so I guess you could be nasty if you wanted to and say
Yeah.
whatever you want, or you could be nice and cute, whatever you decide to do.
or anywhere in
Open
between.
mic.
Open mic night. That's correct. Also, go to patreon.com/No Simple Road. That's how you can support the No Simple Road family with actual dollars and cents that help us keep being able to do No Simple Road. Guess what?
What?
We have to pay to do this shit.
No, we just get on here for free and talk.
Nope. It costs
all
money.
This equipment was
Oh.
free, I thought.
No, it
Came
wasn't.
in a
So
Cracker Jack box.
if you want to help us out, everybody, you can go to patreon.com/No Simple Road. There's different tiers. You can even sign up for free to see what's going on. Connor's doing picks all the time. I'm putting the Friday episodes up a day early and ad-free for all of our Patreon members. And I would like to welcome a new $10 patron this week. John B.
John B.
is back as a
Does
Chan
B mean
donator.
for back?
Look who's
John
back.
back.
John back.
He's like
That's right.
Slim Shady. Look who's back. Johnny
Guess who's
B.
back in the
He always will be as much as he can, everybody. So yeah, let's welcome
Absolutely.
John B back as a new $10 No
John
Simple
B
Road
back. I like that.
Patreon member. That's
John B. back.
patreon.com/No Simple Road. You know the thing, but fucking it's good. We need the money.
Well,
Hook us
and
up.
then there's another thing that you can do with No Simple Road. You can be like, oh my God, this interview with John Mailander is so awesome. I'm going to tell my auntie. I'm going to tell my cousin. I'm going to tell my BFF. And then the mycelial network spreads. This awesome conversation spreads. And then you have helped out No Simple Road with no money.
The mycelium is seeped into our brains
Yeah.
and shared amongst one another.
I'm gonna have fruiting bodies out of my ears. Also, you can
cool.
go on Apple Podcasts. I'm gonna say a bunch of times. You go on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review, man, because we need people to leave reviews on Apple Podcasts because the shows that get reviewed the most get put in the algorithm. And y'all know this is all about the algorithmic surfing thing that we all do. We have to surf the algorithm, and that you guys are our surfboard. It's crazy. So
yeah,
get on
and
there.
we have 430 ratings, which is not bad, but for 7 years plus,
With thousands of listeners.
thousands of
Come on,
listeners,
y'all.
we can do a tiny bit
Hook it
better
up.
than that.
And it's a brand new year. Be the
You know
first.
what? My New Year's goal is to hit 500 reviews.
But that's, you can't control the goal. So
No,
how do you-
I know. I'm putting it out there so
Oh,
people can
setting a
help
goal.
me with my goals.
Oh, okay. Help Mel reach her goal of 500 reviews on Apple Podcasts.
And you
Yeah,
can track
see?
that. You go to Apple Podcasts, you see how many reviews we have, and you can add to those.
Cool.
Thank you for doing that in advance, everybody. I'm so appreciative. And we never do this, so I would like to do this before we announce John, because this is beautifully written, and I think that every now and then it's kind of a good idea to just remember your roots. More than just a Grateful Dead podcast, more than a music and culture show, something other than a family of cosmic wanderers. Join the hosts of No Simple Road as they dive deep into the world of psychedelic exploration, music, art, and spirituality. Each week, they bring you captivating interviews with musicians, artists, authors, and visionaries from all walks of life. Join them on their long, strange trip.
What's that, our bio?
That's about.
Wow. Who wrote that?
Maybe the conductor or somebody.
No, that was
AI. That was
Darwin
AI,
wrote
dude.
it.
That's right.
Darwin's over there. He's like, they never give me credit for shit.
any credit. I'm the ghostwriter.
Yeah, well, I just
I'm the
thought it
one
was
that
good
did
to put that out
everything.
there. Never mind.
Yeah, it was. It's very cool to remember your roots and know where we came from. And by the way, I think, did you pull that from Apple Podcast?
Mm-hmm.
That's strange. I pulled the Deadhead off of that.
I think it's still relevant.
It's what it all stems from.
Yeah, it is our beginning.
This is true.
It's like trying to deny that we moved here from Las Vegas. Like, we're from Las Vegas. That's where we came from.
Oh,
And especially, well, the way you said it, it's like a reminder where we came from.
More
That's
than
like,
that.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
fair.
it's an homage, and you know what? Whatever Dead and Company is now is fantastic for the people that are into it now. Grateful Dead was what got us here.
This is true.
So
These are all
there's
truths.
always some evolution, you know.
Mel's spitting truth, everybody, and we're gonna spit some truth in this
Spit knowledge and truth.
in this conversation with John. So let's get into the interview, everybody.
Yeah, let's do it.
Without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
John Mailander.
What's cracking, man?
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
man.
thanks
It's
for
our
agreeing
pleasure.
to come on. Yeah, we're stoked.
I'm Aaron, brother.
Hello,
Hello.
John.
My name
nice
is
to meet you.
Mel, and then we've got
And then I'm third member. I'm Apple. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you. Nice to meet you guys.
Besides hanging out with us today, what are you doing today, man?
I'm just packing and I'm getting ready to go. I'm leaving town tomorrow to see my folks for the holidays.
Aw.
in
Oh, that's cool.
Seattle.
In Seattle?
Yeah, they moved a couple years ago.
Where are you at?
I'm in Nashville, right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
it's a Nashville kind of a
Yeah,
day.
today's in Nashville that we talked to.
Langhorne Slim this morning.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for joining us, brother.
Yeah, I'm so happy to talk with you guys.
We just saw you here actually with Sam.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where are you guys based again?
Portland?
Cool.
Yeah, so you're coming up to our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
That was one
that
hell
was
of
a
a
great
show.
show.
It really was, man.
Yeah, the Aladdin Theater. I love that place.
Yeah, it represents Portland, kind of the dank Portland kind of well. I love that place.
Yeah.
The Sam Grisman shows are it's kind of different than most other concerts that we see. Like the concert going experience is way different at a show like that where it's all acoustic. And I noticed that like the audience is a little different with those shows. Like what's the word I'm looking for? Like maybe more respectful. Is the
You gotta be more quiet for sure and listen.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of shared reverence for that music and all that material. I definitely feel that within that band, and I think it goes both ways with the audience too. There's an emphasis on really listening.
Yeah. When you're playing with that group of guys and you're going from town to town, I guess this may be a stupid question, but do you notice that like the audiences have different personalities kind of?
Man, I haven't really thought about that too much. I think that music really like draws a lot of people with similar spirits. We all have a shared love of that music, but definitely geographically, like the vibe changes a bit. It's a little different in the South than in the Pacific Northwest, but
Okay.
it's cool. Like we all know we have a shared love of that material. And talk about music all day.
Yeah. I mean, that particular material, it's not only that it like means so much to so many people, but also the writing and the style of it is timeless. Is that a good word for that?
Yeah, definitely. Lyrically, I feel that way about it. It's like the lyrics, Robert Hunter's lyrics could have been written like in ancient history or in the future. It's like it's futuristic and historical at the same time somehow. It's like,
it's a trip.
Yeah, it feels like it's just a gift that we have. We have that music to.
I always say, go to see like Sam's music. It's like a time machine, kind of. It kind of transports you back in time.
Well, I think that's true with string band music.
Yeah,
in a large sense, like if you're listening to wood and wire vibrating, you're going back to something before, and so it has that kind of older vibration. What curious, John, what attracted you to playing the fiddle?
It kind of just happened naturally. I grew up going to this music festival in Yosemite called Strawberry. And my parents took me there growing up, and I got to hear, it was a really musically diverse festival, but I heard a lot of great fiddle players at that festival growing up. Daryl Anger has always been kind of my biggest fiddle hero, and bands like Crooked Still growing up were really influential to me, like wanting to play that music. Hearing Brittany Haas on fiddle, or Sarah Watkins of Nickel Creek. Like I heard all these great fiddle players growing up, and I grew up in San Diego, and Mark O'Connor, the great fiddle player, hosted a music camp in San Diego. It was like I'd been playing for about a year. I picked up fiddle in elementary school just for orchestra.
Okay.
And he hosted this camp in San Diego, and I was lucky enough to get to go. And that's what really revealed to me that it's what I wanted to do. Because I got to be around all these people I'd grown up listening to, and get to spend some time with Daryl and Casey Dreesen, and then my peers, like other students at the camp too, are all people I met there and I'm still really close friends with to this day. Like Alex Hargraves, I met at this camp. Mike Barnett, met Brittany Haas there. Like all my friends who are also my heroes.
Yeah.
So we all connected as kids at this music camp, and I think it was just, I was lucky enough to grow up in San Diego, and the camp happened there. I probably would not have gone if it was in another state.
What a trip to think to
proximity change your life,
for stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were just listening to in the kitchen before we came down the song you do with Broken Compass Bluegrass. We had them on the show, cool. And like they talked about how influential what was it, the Father's Day thing.
Oh, Father's Day music festival.
Yeah, and talking about the same thing, like having the person available to provide this camp and everything really showed them that they could do it and started them all on their trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're awesome. I'm really excited to see where they're going.
Yes. Yeah, they blew our doors off. We went to Winter Wondergrass in Tahoe the beginning of this year, and
I was there.
Oh, cool.
Okay, and they blew. I think we told them when we had them on, like that they made the biggest like impression because we'd heard the name, maybe a couple songs, but seeing them live and the reception they got
and how
from
young
the
they
crowd
are
there and how young they are, like wow, yeah.
Who were you with, John?
I was playing with Mighty Poplar.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then that was also the first time I played with Sam. I did the late night electric set with Sam.
gosh.
we introduced you
Yeah.
and didn't
Oh, okay.
Didn't know it.
We didn't even
Yeah.
Fuck. All right.
How
Wow.
cool. All right.
Holy shit. All right. Dope. Back to the music camp thing. I think as kids, especially, well, adults too, like we have this idea that our musical heroes are somehow larger than life and they're not people. They're like entities or superheroes or whatever. But I think as a kid, going to something like that and getting to meet those people that you admire and looked up to gives you an opportunity to see that they're just human beings like you. And then maybe helps it seem like the dream is possible. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a special thing about this world of music, specifically like bluegrass, newgrass, progressive bluegrass, just anything in the acoustic music world, is our heroes are also really accessible people. You can, like, I think most of my music heroes in this world, even if I haven't met them, I bet I could reach out and like get a private lesson or something if I wanted to. And so I think sharing and helping each other is like intrinsically part of this music world, which is something that I've listened to all kinds of music my whole life, but this world of music has always really drawn me in for that reason, like the community reason.
What kind, like, aside from your own personal music, like you were talking about Hunter, like, is there a song that you just love to play or that really has impacted you, in any catalog? From any catalog, but we were just talking about Hunter and how timeless the music was, so it just made me think that, like, is there a song that you just love to play?
Many songs. It's hard to say one specifically. I feel like it's always changing.
Yeah.
There are some Hunter songs that he co-wrote with Bruce Hornsby that I always look forward to playing with Bruce when I tour with him. There's no set list in his shows, so if we're lucky, like we might play these songs I'm looking forward to all year. It might happen like once in a tour, but I'm always hoping we'll play. There's a few of them. One's called Cyclone that he co-wrote with Hunter, and I love that song lyrically, and there's so much to chew on in the chord progression, like when we improvise on it. And the other one, Take You There. It's a more recent song, but it's Hunter lyrics. And
oh wow!
I always, we might play it once a year, if at all.
Really?
But it's like one of these tunes I've worked on in my own time so much more than anything else to play so little. But it's like really involved, more compositional, but that's
Right
I
on.
really get in a joyful flow on those tunes, and I love the Robert Hunter connection.
That's cool.
It's cool to hear his lyrics and kind of outside of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah. It's like a reminder of home when you're out at sea, kind of thing. Yeah, that's cool, man. When you're playing with Bruce, you say there's no set list, and this might be a nerdy music question, but like, so you're on stage, you guys are playing, the song ends. How do you know if that's the next one? Does somebody call it in the in-ears or?
It's hard to say. It's kind of a constant practice, learning to read what might happen next. He'll often play like improvised solo piano and give like a motif or something that cues us all in of like, oh, it's going to be this song coming up. Or he'll sometimes like point at one of the band members and say, play an intro to this song. And so you have to like really be on your toes, and sometimes you're really put on the spot and have to, improvise by yourself to introduce the song he just called. But it's a lot of like, kind of, to me, it feels like magic. Like when we walk off stage, it's like, I don't really know what just happened. When it's a good show, you don't know what just happened, and or how you like experience this mind meld in a way. But
I think
that's exciting. I mean, that's exciting. Really exciting. Like for us to going and seeing bands that don't have a set list as, listeners. Yeah. I mean, that's I never really thought of that. That's like the same for you when you're on stage and you don't know what's going to happen. That is exciting.
Well, I think that when I went to my first few Grateful Dead shows back in the day, when I found out, like maybe it was like 2 or 3 shows in, I found out that they didn't have a set list. And I remember thinking, oh, these guys are all fucking telepathic. There's like, that's telepathy. There's no way. And it was one of the most like mystical, intriguing things about seeing them for me when I was younger. And like, I never thought about that though, John, like Apple said about your experience being inside of that thing on stage. It's like jumping on a back of a Bronco or something. You just got to go with it and hope that the ride is good.
Yeah. I love it so much. I wait all year. We tour so little in a year, and it's like, it's such a joy for those weeks that we're out, and it keeps me going for everything else I do.
Oh, that's so sweet, man.
So John, you play with a lot of different people. I wonder if like, say like Lindsay Lou, Molly Tuttle, Billy Strings, Sam Grisman, what, maybe like a couple things, what have you learned from playing with each one of those different bands?
Oh, fuck.
I mean, it might not be one thing. It's like picking a favorite song type of thing, but everybody has their own style of doing things and their own way and their own sounds. And so I would imagine that going from different band to different band, you're accruing different knowledge and different wisdom from playing with them.
For sure. Yeah. Wow. That's a big question to answer. There's so much to learn from everybody, every other musician you play with. And, I think, wow, it's hard to say specifically. I've learned so much from all those people you just listed, and I try to just listen, and I've learned a lot from Bruce over the years about how to like stay out of my own way and be in service of the music rather than try to insert myself into somebody else's thing, because every band, every artist has kind of their own world that they've created, and their music is its own world. And so I always want to be respectful to that. And when I step in with somebody new, I just try to listen and absorb. And then after enough time, you kind of know when the time is right, where you can step in and like add your own voice, or where your voice might fit in to their world. But
wow,
it kind of reminds me of, do you remember Double Dutch? Did you ever play Double Dutch when you were growing up? It's no. Like with two, it's jump rope, but it's with two ropes, right? Yeah. And you kind of have to like feel it out and wait to jump in. And it kind of reminds me of like what you were saying, like, you have to, listen and wait and see when the time is right, instead of just trying to jump in and getting all tangled up in the ropes. It's kind of like this delicate like dance that you got to kind of get right, and then it's beautiful to watch.
I think there's something to learn from any musician you play with, of any level or any no matter how well known they are or how experienced they are, there's always something to learn. Like, I feel like I've learned the most sometimes from playing with like younger people who are just starting, because there's like this uninhibited thing when you're improvising together. It's like sometimes you learn too much, and then it's actually limiting you because you're trying to like fit ideas, theory, things you're working on or whatever into the music when the music isn't asking for that. So I think it's like really important to be open to learning from anybody you jam with, no matter how you perceive their career status or how long they've been playing or whatever. Like there's something valuable. Everybody has something valuable to teach you.
To share.
Yeah. It seems too that like what you're talking about, John, the idea of being an open listener to be in service of the music, it almost seems counterintuitive to being a musician, because if you just on the surface look at what a musician is playing music, right? They're not a listener of music. You're an active participant in the creation of sound. So to sit and be present in the moment and really listen seems counterintuitive to making music, but at the heart of it, that's the best musicians. I've asked the question a lot to several different people, which is more important, ear or chops? And all of them say ear is the important thing. And so I know there's a quote from Garcia. He said, "I'm always listening for the space between the note." And I think that's kind of what you're talking about, right?
Totally. Yeah, Miles Davis has a similar quote, like it's the notes you don't play that matter. Something like that, to paraphrase. But all my favorite musicians, especially instrumentalists and improvisers, can just kill you with one note that's in the perfect place within the space.
Right.
That's the best.
That's when you know that it's like coming, whatever this is, coming from the muse. That's how you know that it's coming from there, when a single note played at the right time in the right voice, it takes you and sends that chill up the back of your neck and the hair stands up on your arm. You know, oh, okay, you hit the thing, man. That's
what I'm searching for. That feeling, like every time I play, and it doesn't happen every time, but the more I practice being open to that and like practice aligning myself with the musicians and environments that can give me that feeling, like I'm just searching for that. It keeps me going. Like, the handful of times that you feel that in a year, it reminds you why you're doing it. And same when I'm seeking out music to listen to, just music that gives you that, makes your hair stand up.
That's the best.
I was going to say, I've been wanting to say it since the beginning, kind of like fish. I see I see the oven mitt hanging in the background. Yeah. I'm curious, what was your last fish show you were at?
It's been too long.
Okay.
I saw them last year in Atlanta.
Okay.
With my friend Jeff Mosier. It was really special. We went together, and I don't know if you've talked to Jeff before.
No.
But he toured with Fish in '94 and taught them bluegrass. And this was his first Fish show since then. So it was it was so fun to sit with him and experience that together, because Jeff's been a big mentor to me over the past, I guess since we met in 2017, and he's been a huge mentor and great friend since then. So it was really special seeing Fish with him.
Yeah. I can't imagine seeing it through his eyes like that. Like, yeah, that's dope. To hear what you're up to right now though, man, it's Forecast is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And the video is so beautiful and like mesmerizing, literally, to watch. I love it.
Yeah, that's my friend Ryan here in Nashville. I love his art. I've wanted to do something with him for a while. So
good one. Good pairing together, because it really, like, we were just upstairs getting ready and I put it on, and just the colors and the continuation and the music, and it feels good. It feels like therapeutic in a lot of ways.
Thank you. It was for me to make that song, for sure. That song actually is another, when you were asking about songs I just really connect with and love to play lately. That's a big one for me.
Right.
I love Nick Drake, and those lyrics really are simple but open to interpret on a personal level, but I really relate to them, and it's a great like vehicle for improvising too, and it always goes in a different direction. So that's a song I've really been loving this past year or so, and it feels good to have a studio version of it out to share.
What's some of your favorite moments of this past year?
Wow. Well, I think tracking this record, we have this road song is on our record that's coming out next month. And we tracked it for 4 days as a band live in a studio in last February.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a while, but that was like right at the beginning of the year, and it set the tone for the year in a beautiful way. That was really a highlight. Touring with Bruce this year was one of the best years I think we've ever had as a band. We did more dates than usual this year, and I just got a lot closer with my bandmates in the Noisemakers this year. So that has been,
that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Some years are kind of blurring together. I'm just thinking of highlights.
Yeah. We understand.
All the years combined.
It's
sure.
tough. Yeah.
Especially when you think about like the beginning of the year, it feels like it was years ago. You know, it doesn't.
It really does.
We do that all the time. I have to pull out the calendar. We'll all be stuck in it. Like, pull up the calendar. Oh, okay. That was 2 years ago. It seems like it was, 6 months ago. Like, yeah, time has become a blur.
How did this record come together? Like, as far as the people that you played with and deciding to do it as a project?
I started this project, I guess it was like 2017. I started working on this record that was going to be my second solo record. And it ended up putting it out in 2019, and the title of the record is Forecast. And we played the album release show, and that's kind of how the live group formed. And after that album release show in 2019, it was like, I think we like accidentally formed a band here. Had like really good synergy between everybody. And so we started playing shows once a month in Nashville after that. And then the shutdown happened right when we were just kind of getting started. But in 2020, we recorded the second record, and that one was like an official band record. And the first record I called John Mailander's Forecast, and put it out as a band album. So we named the group after that first record. And since things have been starting up again after that, we started playing once a month again in Nashville and at Dee's Lounge and in Madison, and feel like that's kind of been where we've been honing in our our sound for the past few years. And so I've had this third record on my mind for a long time, and to me it's kind of now like a trilogy of albums. And especially now that we've grown so much as a live band, I've wanted to capture more of the improvisational vibe of what we do, and just so that's about it.
That was a great answer. And I was reading the press release about the upcoming album. By the way, everybody listening, it comes out on the 24th of January. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You said that it's meant to be listened to as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that a little bit?
All three or that one?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't think of that.
Well, I think there is an overarching story told between the three albums. But this one particularly, through the process of making it kind of unintentionally became a concept record in a way, although I didn't plan on it being that. And I'm hesitant to like say what it means.
Yeah, don't give away the secret behind the magic.
It's instrumental, and it means something to me, but it could mean something totally different to somebody else. But I kind of structured the record in a way where it all flows together. A lot of the tracks are connected, and it does have an arc and a story to the album, and some recurring themes and instrumental motifs that kind of appear throughout the record. So it's all really intentional in that way. So I hope people will listen to it from start to finish, because there are compositions within the record, but I feel like it's kind of one large piece,
one big
as a
story.
Whole. Yeah.
And putting something like that out, that like you didn't set out to have it be a concept album, and then you start making it and you realize that there's like this theme for the whole thing. I think you're absolutely right in not telling anybody what it means to you, because for me, part of the magic of music is interpreting songs and stories through my own lens, my own perspective. And I know that, like, especially with Hunter's lyrics and Fish 2, there's tons of like stuff on the internet that you can go look up and find out like what the interpretation of the song is and lore and all this shit. And whenever I've done that, it kind of fucking ruins the song for me, man. Like, it's like, totally. Oh shit, that's not what I thought that meant. Like, I would much rather have it be through my own thing. And even back to like what we were talking about when you play with Bruce and like no set list and being in the moment on stage and figuring out what's going on. There's this cat on YouTube that breaks down Fish jams. Have you ever seen this?
Probably at some point in my
and
my
like
nerdom of Fish.
And like, you know, gives away like, okay, when Trey does this trill, that means that the jam is over, and that's part of him communicating that blah blah. And I watched like 2 of them, and I was like, I don't want to see any of this anymore, because it's taking away the mystique of it. Like, I don't want to know how the fucking sausage is made. Just
totally.
Yeah.
And it kind of leads to what you were talking about earlier about playing with maybe younger bands that aren't so like musically advanced. So a lot of things aren't in their way yet musically, you know, like the notes, the timing, all of it is just superfluous because they're just passionate about the music. And so it doesn't need meaning. It creates meaning as it's being created.
Totally. Yeah. My ultimate musical heroes like combine those things, like the mastery of like understanding the theory and like full control of the instrument, but also like the childlike kind of uninhibited, like exploratory thing, and being okay to play with sound and play beyond like what the line is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I think Trey plays like that. Yeah. I really think he's like searching for like almost like nursery rhyme melodies, although he can like shred, but that's not what he's searching for. And I like hearing musicians like, I'd rather hear a musician searching for that and not finding it than someone who's just like able to play all over the neck but isn't searching.
Yeah.
Wow.
That search is the most fun thing to listen to a great musician do, is like search for something. We were talking about when you were back at music camp as a kid and you realized like, hey, I want to do this. Was there a particular band or song that like hooked you with music, or was it just an overall thing that was part of your life as a kid? It was really like the community I experienced at the Mark O'Connor camp when I went to that, and then the Strawberry Festival every year. Like, it was the jam sessions at these things that I wouldn't say there was a particular song, but just like staying up late, like going out on my own for the first time and like getting to stay up all night and like jam with people. And that was like, that just hooked me.
That's cool.
Is that still? I'm really curious about that too. I'm glad you brought that up again. The Strawberry Fest in Yosemite, you said it was? Because I used to live, my mom and stepfather, they live right up by Oakhurst, have for a long time and everything. And I was up there for about 10 years, from like 97 to 2007. And I had never heard of like any kind of a music festival going on up in Yosemite. Is it still around, or?
It is, but it used to be at Camp Mather, like just outside of Yosemite Valley.
Okay.
And forget when it started, but there you can find tapes from the festival from the 80s and of like the like Strength in Numbers band playing there, String Cheese Incident, there's a deep history of great music there. And then there were the Rim fires out that way. I forget how many years ago, but the festival lost access to the site, so they ended up moving the festival. Now it's where the Grass Valley Father's Day Bluegrass Festival is.
Okay.
And I haven't been to it since they moved. I have such like beautiful memories associated with Camp Mather that
you want to leave it there. You don't want it to change.
That's why I wanted to ask, because I'm just picturing, I spent a lot of time, I actually worked in Yosemite for years, going in on the off season and refurbishing cabins. Like, they have to be sandblasted and repainted every 2 years because of the harshness of the weather, and spent a lot of time up there. And I couldn't imagine a music festival going on like up in Yosemite. It's so magical up there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go down the rabbit hole now and go check out
research. Well, I think too, John, what you're talking about, like staying up all night and playing with your friends and jamming, and I think as human beings, like especially when we're kids, we're figuring out who we are and like longing for connection with other people and wanting to fit, and finding a space where you are not only able to express yourself, but you're accepted in that. That's monumental as a kid. And music is so important for all of us to like be able to express ourselves and feel, even as a listener, not as a player. Like when we go to shows, we dance because it's expressive and we're letting that thing out. But like finding that, I can see how that like would set that you want to do that, And you're lucky to have found it at a young age, man.
Yeah, I'm so lucky. Lucky my parents are music fans and took me to that festival and supported me picking it up and going for it. Like they really provided so many opportunities as a kid to go out and hear great music.
Parents that support their kids in
Whatever.
Yeah, that's changing the world, man. I mean,
Shaping it.
yeah,
Shaping
for real. I'm curious. So, like, you, as a kid, you're doing the thing, and as you get older, you start playing music with your friends and all that. And how does that end up in you playing with Bruce Hornsby? How did that happen?
Well, that was through my brother here, Royal Massat, like my best friend, and he was one of my first friends when I moved to Nashville. I moved to Nashville right after college, and just to try something new. And I had a lot of friends who were down here already, and I met Royal right when I moved here. And the connection with Bruce Hornsby was through Royal's brother-in-law, Ross Holmes, who played fiddle in the band before me.
Okay.
So that it was like a blind call, phone call from Bruce one day. So,
I mean, this may be a stupid question, but like, what's going through your head when that call comes?
That was such a blur. I mean, my heart was pounding. That was like, I got a text from Ross that morning, like, hey, you'll probably get a phone call this afternoon, but he didn't say who it would be from. And then Bruce called me like an hour later.
Oh shit.
And it's such a blur, honestly, but
that's a trip. Like you don't know
what it's going to be.
And that's a good friend. That's something like we do each other as a friend and be like, oh dude, you're going to get a call. Just make sure you answer the phone today. Like,
yeah.
I'm not telling you.
So I'll always be grateful to Ross for recommending me. And it was all through meeting him through Royal. And Royal wasn't even living in Nashville yet. He was still in Texas. And so it was like I met Royal through my first roommate here in Nashville, Sterling Abernathy, who's a great musician as well. And they had a band together. And so Royal was coming to Nashville to hang. And so it was just kind of a series of
happy accidents.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's so fucking cool.
I don't know how many musicians we've talked to that their careers were shaped exactly how you just described.
Accidentally.
Through someone knowing someone, an introduction, a roommate, an ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, like uncle knows so-and-so. And like, you know, if you're going down like a straight path, you go to college, you get a job, you're an intern, you climb the ladder, and then you make your six figures or whatever. It's very like written. But with musicians, it's linear. With musicians, it's like I said, almost all the time. It's this happenstance of events, and that's what gets you there. And if you're of that kind of mindset that things have to go forward, you know, you can miss out on so much of that beautiful, curious life that just kind of happens at you, with you, for you. And, you know,
Totally.
I just love that. I love hearing stuff like that. Like sometimes, like even some of the questions I've asked, you're like, I don't know how to say it because there's a lot of magic happening and you can't really explain or express what magic is. You just feel it and you know it and you go with it.
Yeah.
I couldn't say it any better than that.
Right on.
I think that is like the mystique and the magic,
Right?
the magic of the music world. Like, like that. That's one of the things that's so intriguing about
Well,
it.
I think when you're consistently putting yourself in the place of like opening yourself up in service of music, right? You're doing this thing that inherently is magical, right? So you're doing this thing all the time. It kind of makes sense that like life would start to align with that. And these synchronicities and coincidences.
Well, yeah, you're like, I'm here to play music. What song? I don't know. I just have my instrument. And then within that parameter of in a location with other musicians and with your instrument, now the music will fill in the rest. You know what I mean? There doesn't need to be like, okay,
sounds like a jam.
Now 1, you're going to play this. 2, you'll play that. You'll finish at 10:05. You'll know like it. I feel like it's just like handing kids a blank paper with like crayons and markers and scissors. We don't know what we're going to get, but
and make sure to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy yourself.
That's the way I want music to always feel that way. Like you're playing with crayons and scissors. And like not sure what's going to happen.
Well, just talking to you, you feel like that. You feel like dreamy, kind of like happy, and the video, the music, the instrumentals. I am a huge fan of instrumental music. I have always loved it. Flamenco is some of my favorite music. And it's because like what you said earlier, you may have something that it makes you feel like, but so does that other person. So it's uninterpretable for someone else. Right. And so there's so much freedom when you listen to something that doesn't have lyrics. Like I love to make up music based on like what I'm doing for the day. Like, you know, just BS, just like start stringing words together, and to have beautiful music like that doesn't tell me what to say. It's mentally liberating. It's like very, it's like kind of a spiritual like cleanse. And so for musicians that can kind of, and don't get me wrong, I love lyrics because I love to write as well. But for musicians that can just express purely musical, I'm so appreciative of that, you know, that outlet that you can be bold enough to create music with no lyrics. It's a beautiful thing. Really is.
I love that.
Yeah,
well,
man.
It's
Me
also,
too. Me too.
I was going to say, I'm going to throw it out there because we've done this several times with musicians. One thing, we've heard several answers, but like when you're doing an album and you're doing instrumental and stuff, how do you come up with titles for the songs?
Also personal. Sometimes the titles just reveal themselves to you.
Okay.
It's always a little different, I think. I don't know exactly how to answer.
It's a tough one. I forget who.
Maybe there isn't a right answer.
Medeski.
You know what I'm saying?
We were talking about this. It was a Electric Rhino or something like that was the name of the song, and I was like, "How did you?" He's like, "Because it sounds like an electric rhino."
Yeah, and we've heard that too. Like what you said too. It's like that song did not have a name for the longest time, and then when we were laying it down, somebody made a comment or a joke came out of it. It was like, "There's the name of the song now."
Totally,
and it usually always makes sense.
Well, I wanted to say too, man. Congratulations on figuring out how to make a living at staying up late and jamming with your friends.
Yeah. Yes.
I still get to do that.
A round of applause for that.
Clap for that, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's so much work, and that goes into being able to do that. But that I feel like that is the reward for all of the other work that
it's good work, man.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about being a musician? Or one of your favorite things?
Those moments we were talking about that I'm searching for when your hair stands up and searching for the chills. And there's like a feeling that happens a handful, if I'm lucky, like 3 or 4 times a year, of just being on a gig somewhere and like this feeling of like levitating. It's like an out of body experience. Oh, and that's, to me, that is like everything. It makes life like worth living. And I feel like the more I practice being open to that and like receiving it when it might happen, the more often it happens. But it's really hard to stay in that mental state where you can allow that to happen. But and it's got to be with the right people and the right environment, and everything has to be in an alignment for that to happen. And it's not solely on me. It's like, it's about the people I'm with. And but I love that feeling. And so that is one of my favorite things. That's about
awesome. Yeah.
Like being able to have that experience, even if it's few and far between, just knowing that that's possible.
Well, that's what makes it so special.
Yeah.
If it happened all the time, then it'd be like, oh,
that's playing music.
Yeah. To be searching
it's
for
like
that.
it can happen all the time, but when will it happen?
Yeah.
And I think not knowing what the components are too, like you have to just be available. It's not like, well, if I set my, watch here and I put my shoe over there and I stand here, then now it's going to happen. Like,
because this is how it happened last time.
You could just like put together the pieces and hope that everything goes the way it's supposed to go, and you don't know when it's going to show up. And that really is what makes it special. When it does happen, it's like,
because the literal magic just happened right before your eyes. You know it because you feel like you're levitating,
and
or your hair is standing up, or
it's like proof of something else out there.
Yeah.
Bodily proof.
And I think what's cool about that too is like when it happens for you playing, it also happens for us at the same time. We're like in that thing, we feel it like descend or whatever at the same time. It's like, oh shit. And you feel the room kind of come alive and come together, and we're all in this group mind creating something.
That's the best when we're at a show and you don't even really realize like what it is. We've had it quite a few times at fish shows and stuff, when like the smallest thing happens and then the whole crowd just goes crazy over that note or that look they gave each other or something, and then that usually sparks more of it, and it's like, oh shit, now we're in it. Like
sparks it and fuels it too.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of when you said that Apple one moment. It was when we were at Fish Dick's, not last year, but the year before, when The Howling came on.
Oh shit!
And it's not deep in their catalog. It's from like recently.
Yeah,
so not a lot. Everybody doesn't know it, but if you know it, and there was a full moon, and the minute everybody caught wind of what it was, and everybody starts howling, and it was unscripted, clearly, but it brings
even the band stopped to another, like, holy shit.
And you just hear everybody like a werewolf howling at the moon, and like they didn't ask us to do that. The energy created that. That was like the magic that was forming. Yeah. Like, and that's moments. I live for moments like that too at concerts, John. I really do.
Magical.
It really is. I have a 2-part question.
Uh-oh.
I know I have hard questions. Sorry, John. Okay. What are you grateful for this past year? 2 things, maybe in career and maybe in personal.
And so much. I'm grateful every day to be able to play music for a living, and all the people I've met along the way, like my friends. Most of my friends are all through music. I met all my closest friends through music, and I'm really grateful for that. It's kind of it's weird, like career and personal life are so blurred.
Yeah.
It can be like hard sometimes when you do need to separate those things. It's like, that can be really tricky to navigate, but I'm really, really grateful for the relationships I have in my life that are all through my career and through music. But I feel like some of my closest relationships have really grown in this past year. outside of music too. And so I'm really grateful for
Right on.
my friends and family.
I mean, that's what it's all about right there. Doing what you love and having people that you love around you. That's, you're living a rich life, my friend. That's what it's all about right there. I mean, a lot of people out there are searching for that their whole life and never find it. So congratulations on figuring that out early, man. I have a much easier question for you. So you're going home to visit your parents for Christmas. Is there something that your mom makes to eat that you miss or look forward to at Christmas time?
I mean, banana bread. She makes killer banana bread.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That'll work.
It's fun. They just moved to Seattle just almost 2 years ago, after living in San Diego for a long time, 30 years or so, 35 years. So it's fun for me to visit them now because there's all these places we can discover together, and
that's cool.
Explore new restaurants and bakeries and all that. So
there's a lot of good things in Seattle.
Moving from San Diego to Seattle, man, it's like moving from Vegas to Portland. We're used to the sun all year, and then now it's like, oh, it rains 9 months. Cool.
And I love it.
Live in Vegas?
Yeah,
before?
We lived in Vegas for a long time. We moved up here 2016.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is cool to see. I mean, we've been here 8 years, and it's still amazing to see 4 distinct seasons.
Yeah, that's who'd have thought?
Like they're each like 3 months long, and it changes almost like within that week.
Yeah.
Of it, like we were used to 9 months of summer and 3 months of other stuff.
Yeah, and we're on the solstice right now today. So happy solstice, brother.
Yeah, happy solstice.
John, we said the album comes out on the 24th. Where do people go?
JohnMailander.com or Bandcamp. We have the album up for pre-order on Bandcamp right now. John Mailander's Forecast. Those are the most direct ways that support the artists the most.
Okay.
But you can, it'll be everywhere on streaming, anywhere you stream music on January 24th.
Right on. We'll have a link in the show notes to your website and your Instagram and all that too.
Well, thank you. John, thanks for decorating the world so beautifully with your music and your friends and your passion for the music. And it's really rad. It's really rad to come across somebody like yourself who's like grateful and even speechless at some of the stuff that you do. It's sweet. It's humbling. And yeah, I'm grateful for musicians like you. Thank you.
And it's also it's very cool to know that we have seen you live. Didn't know it at the moment.
Several times.
Yeah. Well, yeah. With the Sam Grisman who did know and everything. But look forward to
10 layers of winter jackets on at that show.
We all did. Walking around.
It was my dream come true. I love all festivals, but I don't like the heat as much. And to go to a winter festival, oh my God, it was so fun. And hopefully so many people we've talked to from Nashville. I can't wait till we make a pilgrimage out to Nashville to come check out the place. I heard about D's. I mean, there's the legendary ones like Ryman and stuff, but then like to go to D's and these other places we hear about a lot and check out the food scene.
D's is awesome, but I'm so grateful for D's. It's just been an amazing local spot to like discover our band and play once a month, and so they really they've really helped us find our sound, and D's is awesome. It's a great spot to catch live music in town.
My number is in the Zoom thing. I put my phone number in there. Save my phone number, man. When you come up Portland way, if you need a place to stay, you're coming through, let us know. House is open to you, brother.
Yeah, we love
Thank
to cook.
you so much.
We got a washer and dryer. We, give you a little home on the road.
Thank you.
Right on.
Yeah, stay in touch for sure. I'd love to connect with you guys when you come through Nashville too.
Right on,
Yeah.
brother. Thank you. Merry Christmas, man.
Yeah,
Happy
Merry
New Year, brother.
Christmas.
Yes,
New Year.
enjoy Seattle.
We'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks for having me.
Later, brother.
Aw, right on.
That's a sweet soul right there.
Totally.
Those eyes,
He kind of reminded me of Adam.
a little bit.
A
A little bit like
the softness
the attitude
and like
the softness.
the s-
Yeah.
Yeah.
just sweet, like a sweet man.
And he's thoughtful too. You
Yeah.
could tell that like the answers to the questions that he gave, that wasn't like bullshit. He gave that answer to everybody every time.
Well, I love it
He's
through
thinking.
all the questions, because those are tough. When you, it's like,
Yeah, what's
like
your
we always
favorite
say,
kid?
yeah, who's your favorite kid? You got to pick one now. The rest are, gonna drown or whatever. He's like, I it's everything, man.
Yeah.
It's
And you know that like when somebody gives answers like that to the gratitude question, I'm grateful for being able to do what I do. So you know that his perspective and attitude on the thing is coming from the right place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm grateful for the people that are in my life. That's somebody that's like the art that he's making is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
coming from his soul. And we need more of that, man. Like, great. You can mass produce music and pump it out and it's the next new hot thing. But when you have true artists that are out there pouring their souls out, that's decorating the world, like you said, Mel, with really beautiful things. And I'm grateful for them.
That's
honestly.
why I said that. I truly mean that. Like, it's words, especially in this technological social media time. I don't want to say that they've lost meaning, but they've definitely changed meaning.
Well, that's for sure.
Like lots of words are not the same, but music doesn't change because you can't interpret it because it doesn't have words. Do you know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah.
You can't say, that's not what that means. Because
said.
you can't say, oh no, that C note didn't mean that. You can't say that.
Nope.
So
even when they tell you what the song is about, that's not what it's about to me.
No. And so that's why I truly love instrumental music. It puts you in a different kind of a vibe. It makes you feel infinite in thought and emotion. There's nothing to capture you into. This is a sad song. This is an angry song.
no, it can speak to all those emotions. It can be completely different. You listen to it one day and it's like the happy, and then another time it's like
there's no
like
doors
goes,
on it, and that's what I love about instrumental music.
Very open for interpretation.
Yeah. Nobody likes doors on their music.
That song's about sandwiches, and I don't want to hear any more debate about.
That's every song Paige ever played is about a sandwich.
sandwiches.
All right, well, everybody, John Mailander, and hey, new album is coming out on January 24th, and it is called "Let the World In."
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yep, and it'll be on those streaming platforms. And if this comes out before the 24th, there will be a link to John's social media and his website. And if this comes out after the 24th, there will also be a link to the album. And until next time, everyone, take care of each other, smile at a stranger, safety third, hydrate.
Love one another, love yourself.
And happy holidays.
Love y'all. Peace.
But it's a burden. Felonies has been deferred, and hell means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? No simple road. 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 My windshield is shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A = A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
This is the story of Whitney Houston,
This is the story of Kurt Cobain,
of George Michael, of Otis Redding, of Amy Winehouse, of Michael Hutchence, Bob Marley. This is the story of Prince,
It's a new podcast series.
about how they died, why they died, and why we're still talking about them so long after.
It's like nothing you've ever heard before.
It's storytelling.
But it's more than that, because rock stars,
They tell us how we feel. They change our mood,
they change the clothes we wear, the people we hang out with.
the way we remember things.
It's them who give us those ludicrous moments, the ones where you...
Jumping around, singing your heart out, feeling understood.
And it's those moments we'll help you remember, the ones you're thinking about right now.
That feeling
That feeling.
is coming soon from Crowd Network.
Just search for Death of a Rock Star on your podcast app.
And subscribe now.